Hey, what's up guys, Nate here, welcome back to the channel. We have got a cool little creative sampler that we're going to be checking out today. This is from Glitchmachines, it's called Tactic. It's kind of a generative sequencer slash sampler. I've been playing around with it for a little bit and we're just going to take a look at some of the controls and what we can do with this. Let's check this out. Right, so this is Tactic. As you can see, we've got 8 sample slots at the top. These are triggered by this sequencer section down at the bottom here. You've got a number of different things that you can do to sort of create generative stuff here with probabilities for the triggers and a number of different effects that you can have running on each of these triggers as well. Modifying the start points, loop points, reversing, course pitch, etc, etc. I'm not going to run through all of this. We'll kind of just do some practical stuff with this. I've been playing around a little bit and I think we're just going to kind of jump right in and I'll show you what this can do. So I've just got like a piano loop playing in the background here. We're going to take a listen to some of the presets that I've got loaded up here first. Cool, so you can kind of hear what we're getting out of that. I think it's primarily designed for drum sounds, but I'm going to play around with some pitched samples as well, show you what you can do with tonal stuff as well. This one is just running through a instance of Repro 2 just to add a little bit of extra randomness to that and some filtering. That's one thing that I kind of wish that you could do with Tactic was randomize filters, but they don't have filters built into the sample engine at all. But that's fine, you can do that with another plugin on top of that. I've also got unfiltered audio's biome running here. I'm using S&H just to kind of dial the mix in for the reverb on this. So you get kind of reverb at random intervals. Just take a listen to some of the other presets. And there's a really good library that ships with this as well. Loads of these kind of glitchy sounds. They're all wave files as well, so you can actually utilize them in a traditional drum sampler if you wish. Let's check out some of the sounds. Super cool. So let's actually dive in and actually program something with this so we've got a little bit more control over it. It's all going to be quite sort of random, but we can still put in some limitations as to when things hit. You can take complete control over this as well, but that's kind of missing the point of this. I really like the sort of generative vibe that you get. So let's just reset everything. What I've done with this one is I brought in a number of vocal samples, all in similar keys, just so I didn't have to. You can repitch them in the sample engines here if you need to. But they're just kind of random samples, and we're going to dial in a little pattern with this now. So first things first, on this top section, this is where the samples trigger. So you'll see if I have this set to play standard forward loop, and we'll put in, you click and drag upwards with this to add a slot 1 playing at that beat there.
Go, 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 go.
So you can sequence by adding in different samples at different intervals.
Go, 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 go.
You can change your time signature here.
Go, 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 go.
You can also trigger these in reverse or completely random as well, forward and backwards, alternating, and then a random sequence trigger as well. And this is almost just completely generative. It'll just keep randomly generating triggers so long as you've set them up here initially. You can also drag all the way up and have these trigger random samples at every point if you select these little question marks, or if you want to just reduce the length down to 2, for example, you can have these probabilities set as well, so they might not sound at certain points. Let's play that back again. Now we've got some effects that we can trigger here as well. Let's dive into this section. We'll go add in some loops. We'll say loop there, and let's put some of these in reverse. And we'll do start point, modify the start point or the start position of some of the samples. We'll bring the decays down on some of these. And you've got 2 layers of these as well, so you can actually put additional ones down here as well. Let's add in some different loop ones here, so we can kind of like 2 layers of these effects happening at any given time. You can set up the global loop size here, so let's do 16ths. I'll play that back and just see what we get now. So it's a little bit more sparse now for these, which is kind of cool for this piece of music. We'll dial up some reverb of that and listen to that with our drum sounds back in there again. Super cool. I really like this. It's a ton of fun to play around with this one. You get some really interesting ideas out of this. So we can also randomize everything as well. What I'm going to do is bring in some drum samples of my own this time around and see what we come up with just randomizing these. Let's say, for instance, we wanted to kind of create a hat pattern. I'm going to grab some hats from a drum sample library that I'm working on. I'm just really grabbing these at random. We'll just see what we come up with. Let's grab those and come down to this little icon down at the bottom, and now you have a number of different randomizing controls that you can do. So what I'm going to do is most interested in the sequencer first. You can randomize everything as well. It's kind of hit and miss what you get with that. You just roll the dice and you see what happens. I'm going to randomize the pattern. You'll see by doing that, it has added in our hat samples over here. We can reset the probabilities. We can randomize those probabilities as well. So we go to probabilities there. Let's randomize some of these lower sections as well. We'll go the parameter sequencer 1. We'll change the pattern. Let's change the values, the targets, and the controls. Let's see what happens. And we'll reset the probability so it's hitting on every single note now. So this 2-bar one, we'll change these to 16ths again. And we'll leave those straight. Let's see what I have now. I'm going to remove the attacks and the reverses as well. Let's have a little bit of fun with starter edits on top of all of this. Cool. So you can see you can have a ton of fun with this. It's really cool to play around with and a great way to get these kind of random glitch elements into your tracks. So go check this one out. It is Tactic from Glitchmachines. You can pick this one up now for $49. That's the sampler sequencer and the sound library that ships with it, with a ton of these kind of nice glitchy samples that you can use within this plugin. Nice one, guys. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you are enjoying this content, please make sure that you leave a like, hit the subscribe button as per usual. Helps us out a lot, and I will see you soon right here at Marula Music. Cheers.